Here we go. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening. We have lost within the last month two musical giants. One of them was this distinguished gentleman here, Harry Belafonte. He was from the Caribbean when he came up with the famous song "Day O." Everybody in the street was saying "Day O," you know. But it was he, and he was born on the 1st of March of 1927 and passed away on last month, April 25th of 23. He was blessed to live 96 years, which is really a blessing when you think about it. And then, of course, this morning, the passing of Tina Turner, who was born on November the 26th of 1939 and died early this morning in Sweden on May the 24th of 23. And it's interesting. Many actors and actresses have had name changes. So when Shakespeare once says, "What's in a name?" the response was everything, and you would be amazed how that is. So when Tina Turner was born, her actual name was, I don't, you know what? Let me back up a second. I got into this. Let me say that today's show is brought to you by the Sisters of the Traveling Spread. That's how I should have done it. The Sisters of the Traveling Spread. Go to stshealing.com, stshealing.com to do that and sign up. Registration is getting real close. The date is getting real close. They'll be back on sometime next month to talk about it one more time to get those who are sometimes last minute people involved, but that is it. And let me do the forecast and then I can get to, and this is how I should have done it. But anyway, learn live with Lloyd, with the joy of numerology is the joy of learning and enlightenment. Please share, like, and subscribe. And LWL, which is Live with Lloyd, or LS, my name, Lloyd Strayhorn, will never DM you with a message. But today is Wednesday. It is the 24th of 2023. The sun is in Gemini. The moon went into Leo about 10:30 this morning. It's still a 3 universal month for what days remain of May. We're in a 7-week. It's a 9 universal day. So if you happen to be a Taurus, Libra, Scorpio, Aries, Leo, all born on the 6th to 9th, the 15th, the 18th, the 24th, 27th of the month, this is your day. All righty. Anyway, so now let me start from the way I should have done it. This musical giant was not only in a legend, but he also was a actor too. And one of the best ones was when he collaborated with his Pisces counterpart, Sidney Poitier. They did a couple of comic movies together. And for those of you who can remember, they were absolutely funny. And yet Harry Belafonte was always proactive. He was always there with Martin Luther King. A lot of people don't know he was also there with Malcolm X. And he was always a supporter of the civil rights movement, always spoke out, spoke his truth, was partly responsible for some of the celebration of Harlem Week, which is a traditional thing that takes place in Harlem, New York. It's I guess now about 40, 50 years. And in fact, the Schomburg Library on 135th Street and Lenox Avenue, or Malcolm X Boulevard, as they call it now, is going to give a special dedication. In fact, I do believe that all of 135th Street from St. Nicholas all the way through Madison Avenue, Park Avenue rather, is going to be donated to Harry Belafonte Way. I'm kind of talking a little ahead of myself, but I do believe that's what is going to happen. Now, let me give you this diva here. Without question, when you talk about divas, this is the one. Sister Tina Turner. She was born Anna Mae Bullock. And what happens is a lot of actors in Hollywood especially would change their names. So let me give you an example. She was born Anna Mae Bullock. So I want you to show, I'm doing her name in Chaldean system. The rule is, if possible, is to have your name in alignment with your date of birth. Well, if you do Anna Mae Bullock, it adds up to a 3, which is cool because actually she's a Sagittarius, born November 26th. However, the basic rule is even better if you can match it on your date of birth. You see, the month, the day, and the year you're born represents the long range influence, but it is the birth number, in her case, born on the 26th, which is an 8, represents uh, the more immediate number that points north on a compass. So if you ask most people who don't know who is Anime Bullock, unless they know about Tina Turner's background, they will tell you that, who is that? But everybody knows who Tina Turner is. But notice how it matches her birth number exactly. So that is why a lot of people like Christopher LaGeorge, Latour, Wallace, Biggie Smalls, he was a 3. I mean, I've given a lot of examples in my book from Tupac Shakur and a couple other people, but this is a perfect example of how once she changed her name, she changed her fortune. And in fact, she did a total of 17 films, and 1 plus 7 is 8. The first one came out in Give Me Shelter. That was in 1970. 1 plus 9 plus 7 plus 0 equals 17, and 1 plus 7 is 8. And then everybody knows her, and she became a superstardom in 1983, which adds up to 21, which adds up to 3, which governs her sign of Sagittarius. And from that moment of 1983 all the way up until the present, she really took off like a rocket. And I think most people remember the diva in her when she played her part in the 1985 movie Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome with Mel Gibson. So anyway, this is just an idea. And for those of you who would like to see her biopic, let me see something here. They couldn't have picked a better person than this diva here too. Sister Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett portrayed it, and in fact, it was taken from Tina Turner's book, autobiography of What's Love Got to Do with It, as a bio that was published in 1986, and she did the movie of Tina Turner in 1993. Now, here's the thing. This young lady, Angela Bassett, is a fire sign, a Leo. Tina Turner is a fire sign of Sagittarius. And so you would understand if you look at the biopic of What's Love Got to Do with It, the 1993 movie with Lawrence Fishburne, who played the role of Ike Turner, who was born November the 5th, by the way, just as a footnote. She put all the energies into it. Not only this, but this is such a diverse actress, a diverse artistic diva in her way. She portrayed the wife of Malcolm X in the movie, the Malcolm X biography, Dr. Betty Shabazz. She's done dynamic roles. So I'm just saying, if our women ain't dynamic, I don't know what to tell you, okay? So that's all I'm saying. So anyway, we're going to get to some of the things, but I wanted to just start this honoring 2 artistic giants in the world of music, in the world of films, Harry Belafonte and Tina Turner, and God bless her soul too. So anyway, I'm going to do part 2 from Monday about numerology and thought reading. But this time, let me go into more detail. I rushed on this, so I'm going to review it. So for people that said, Lloyd, you went too fast. Okay, here we go. I was explaining that the subconscious mind always knows what the answer is. This is why a hypnotist will hypnotize a person, make them recall things that they forgot way back in their childhood. Well, there's a popular book that I was saying, Joseph Murphy, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. There are other books on the power of the subconscious mind, but that's like, I think, the all-time classic of showing how once you tap into the other side of your mind, not the conscious, but tapping into the subconscious that remembers every single thing. So what happens, I was explaining that there was a Indian guru in the East named Safarao, who was born in 1864, died in 1929, who came up with this concept of the thought reading. His method was to, let me do this a second, so I can give a review for those of you who may have missed it. His thought process at that time in the process was Safarah would take 9 numbers. Then for some reason, he would add the number 3. I don't know why that is. That's part of my research. This is why I like doing these things for research purposes. But anyway, then they brought it forward with a guy named Sidney Omar, who wrote a book called Thought Dial. And he just took simply 3 numbers. Well, I kind of adopted that method, except I took it to another level. But that's how we do when you get into what you're doing. And so what happens is, if a person sometimes will ask me a question for which I'm not sure, but I know that the subconscious mind is sure, I will ask them 3 things. I'm going to ask you too. For those of you who have a question, especially a burning question of a yes or no, or not too sure, just kind of pause a second, take a couple of breaths, think about the question in mind, and give me 3 single-digit numbers that come to mind, like somebody did on Monday. All right. And so what happens is, this is what I kind of went fast for. So to give you an idea. So if you have 3-digit numbers and they add to the single digit of a 1, yes is definitely the answer to the question. Consciously, it means new projects, friends, activities, and circumstances, but subconscious, an inner need to be free, more independent, or simply step out on faith. The person in question could be either the person themselves, which is a Leo, Aquarius, Aries, or born on a date adding to the 1 or the 4. Now let's take the number 2. If your answer came out and it was an even number added to a 2, it says no, but it's definitely the answer to the question. So 1 is a definitive answer, 2 is a definitive no. And consciously relates to the opposite sex, a change of some kind, home, office, relationships. Subconsciously, an inner desire for peace, harmony, and security. Possibly the person in question could themselves be a Cancer, Taurus, or born on a date adds up to the 2 or 7. Now, let's say you got 3 single-digit numbers that add to the single digit of a 3. It says yes is the answer, but not as definite like the number 1. However, on the conscious level, it relates to your pride, your ambition, your expressions. Subconsciously, an inner desire to rise above others, to make a name for yourself and enhance your good name, reputation, etc. There's more details of this in my book on page 373, 74 of my Orange Book, Numbers and You. For number 4, okay, no is the answer, but not as definite as the number 2. On the conscious level, it relates to one's work and effort to structure and get yourself organized, pay attention to details, and kind of lay the groundwork or the blueprint to what you want to do. Subconsciously is an inner concern about restrictions or health matters or some kind of limitations or boundaries that one is put into. The person in question themselves could be an Aquarius or Leo or Gemini, or born on a date that adds up to the single digit of the 4 or the 1. So going with the rest, and I'm going to be taking people's 3-digit numbers, and you all do that yourselves. Now, as far as the balance of them are concerned, if the person's answer adds up to the number 5 after adding their 3 numbers to a single digit of a 5, yes is definitely the answer to the question. On the conscious level, it relates to more freedom and flexibility, changes, the opposite sex, or something of a sexual nature. Subconsciously is their inner concern for better communications, variety, diversity, and flexibility again. The person in question themselves may have been a Gemini or Virgo, or born on a date that adds up to the 5 or 6. Let's say your single digit number is a 6, okay? Well, no is definitely the answer to the question. On the conscious level, it relates to your home or his or her love life or some form of duty or responsibilities, but subconsciously, it could be an inner desire to be loved and recognized and or appreciated. The person themselves could be in question, could be a Taurus or Libra, or born on a date that adds up to the 6 or the 3. Now, if the person's number is a 7, okay, yes is the answer to the question, but with perhaps a delay. That's where the difference comes in. On the conscious level, it relates to one's deep inner feelings, deceptions, or depressed emotions. Also, subconsciously, an inner desire to get away from the drama, confusion, to seek wisdom and knowledge and understanding. The person in question themselves could either be a Cancer or Pisces, or born on a date that adds up to the 7 or the 2. Going down the home stretch, let's say your single digit number from the 3-digit numbers you added was a number 8. No is the answer to the question, but maybe a yes later on. On the conscious level, it relates to money and relationships, achievement and recognition, but subconsciously an inner concern for better finances, deep personal or meaningful relationships, as well as denoting someone from your past. Again, there's more descriptions of this in my book, Numbers in You, on page 370 to 374. The persons in question possibly who gave this could themselves been a Cancer, or an Aquarius, or Libra, or born on a date that adds up to the single number of the 8 or 4. And finally, if your 3-digit single number adds up to a 9, yes is the answer to the question. On the conscious level, it relates to bringing matters to a close with someone or something, or perhaps a dream fulfilled. And subconsciously, it suggests situations and circumstances are finally about to come to an end. Or the person in question themselves could have been an Aries, or Scorpio, or Leo, or born on a date that adds up to the 9 or the 3. All right, so now, okay, so I rushed this past Monday, and somebody made mention of that, and so I just wanted to do that. So what we're gonna do, I'm ready. Yes, you can include your birthday if you want to, and it doesn't have to be a 3-digit number, but this way you can see for yourself. And by the way, leave a comment in the comment section about, yes, that's true. That seems to be similar. Nah, you way off base, brother. It's okay. This is what my research is. Everything I do is research. And, you always got to test the waters, and there always going to be some little follow-ups or little hiccups before you finally get everything straight. I'm glad to say, if I'm not mistaken, by this time next week, by Wednesday of next week, all Apple persons can then now subscribe to my a Star 8 mobile app. I'll talk about that later. Anyway, let's go to you. All righty. And I want to thank my moderator, Miss Empress Rel, who is on the case, just like my Monday person. Let me do this. Okay. I am going here. Let's see. Greetings, everybody. This person here, they didn't leave a number, a 3-digit number, but let me tell you who they are. They are an Aquarius 3 person, which means they're a fire sign. Nope, they are an air sign with a fire number. 3 people are very active, engaging, personable, expressive, popular, very well liked. 3s, I noticed, especially the women, got a natural gift with children, babies, young people. They pull on their dress in the supermarket, skirt, pants, stuff like that. 3 women are normally more career oriented than domestic oriented. I try to explain this to men. That brothers, if you're dealing with a woman who's born on a date that add up to a number 1 or number 3, like the 1st, the 3rd, the 10th, the 12th, the 19th, the 21st, the 28th, or the 30th of the month, they're more career oriented than domestic oriented. What I mean is this: you say, okay, honey, now that you Mrs. So and so, I want you off at 5. I want dinner at 5:30, and I want everything on the table ready at 6. Now that might work for about a week, okay? But most 3 women and 1 woman, they'll say, you know what, boo? You know what I heated up yesterday? You go in the refrigerator, heat it up, and I'll see you when I get back. Because they are much into their careers. So when you sit down with them on a Friday to go over the bills and whatnot, they want to be right there helping you figure out what needs to be paid, what needs to be dealt with, and what the next step is. But your key numbers, young lady, are the 3, and you were born in 2003. So that makes you 20. You just turned 20. Okay. And so what that simply means is that your most important numbers are the 3, 4, and 1, and that Sunday and Thursday first. It's Thursday, Sunday, and then in a minor way, Monday are your best days. And this year, you're in a year of transition, that I did your personal year. That means you got to take it easy. There may be some changes around the house or the workplace if you got your first job or something like that. And it does indicate, since you're in a 2 personal month added to the 5th calendar of May, that means you're in a 7 month. And that simply means that right now, this last week finds you in a state of just being patient. That's what you got to do. All righty. So thank you very much. Now let me go to the other end. And this is Lovely Kisses Tarot. Okay. Now that's interesting. It must be a 3 energy today. She's born 3-3, which makes her a Pisces 3 person. Now, in this case, where my first one was a air sign with a fire number, this is a water sign with a fire number. So this gives a whole different read. Pisces is known as a psychic sign anyway. And with this number, it just indicates people who not only just have a lot of feelings, but their hunches about things are normally very good. But then it's also backed with a drive and a desire to be somebody, to make somebody of themselves and things of that nature. Threes are very popular. So I always jokingly say, sometimes it's hard for you to sneak around because it seems like threes always bumping into somebody. They even know people their mother don't know. And speaking of that, it does suggest to you, lovely kisses, that you were probably influenced in your upbringing by a third party over and above your mom and dad, like an auntie or older sister or a grandmother or something of that nature that played just as a significant role as your mom and dad. But your lucky numbers are always considered the artistic code, which is 3, 6, and 9, and Thursday, Fridays, and Tuesdays are your best days, okay? So let me go back here. Um, this person said number 3 attributes correct. All right, good, good. There's so much to this. That's why I put everything in my book because I can't do everything, you know. Um, okay, let's see. Let's see who we got here. Okay, this person here is Lori Britt, born February the 16th, 1983. Love and marriage, please. Well, this year you happen to be in a 7 personal year and you're born on the 16th, which is a 7. So if marriage and love is what you're after, this year your personal year is the same as the universal year. 2023 adds up to a 7, but then when I took your birthday, February the 16th, and added it to 2023, it also is a 7. So your personal year is always in lockstep with your universal year. The point I'm saying is this is not so much the year this year for marriage or love or things of that nature, as so much as finding out who you are, what you are about, finding your spiritual center, going within, finding, your peacemaker, wanting, having a desire to know yourself more, seek inner wisdom and knowledge and understanding. This is when people go back to church or they become born again Christians or they get psychic readings or whatever the case is. Your opportunity comes in the fall of late September, October. That is not only when you go into your romance and no, it's actually your finance, then romance cycle. You'll be going into a pregnancy cycle as well, too. More than likely, the person you're likely to meet will be under the sign of Capricorn, Aquarius, and Libra, or born on a date adding up to the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th of the month. But right now, if love is what you want, and you feel, I can't wait till October because I still got to get to the summer and I want to have some fun, then visualize love coming your way. Visualize marriage coming your way, a proposal, and then maybe it's done then. And if so, call me, hit me up on this thing and we can go from there. All righty. So anyway, let's see what we got. Okay, we got this person here, Asa Johnson, and their birthday is May 18th. Happy belated birthday. What you got for me? I also have your book. I didn't see 336 as a master number. I'm still reading. Why is that? Well, I didn't include the master number 33. When I wrote that book back in I wrote the book actually in 87, and then it was revised again in 97. And at that time, there were just 2 focuses on the master numbers, which is 11 and 22. Of course, if you were a Shriner, part of the higher form of Mason, that was 33 degrees. So any Masonic person will tell you, if you're a Shriner, that means you reach the 33 degrees, which is a master number. However, if you pick up Jackie Levine's books, Numbers Decoded, Cards Unfolded, she talks about all the compound numbers, including the 33. So I recommend, while she's only got a few copies left, that I'll show it at the end of the program where you just pick up the copy and then that way you can read about it. So that's why it is that I didn't do it at that time when I wrote it back in 1987. Okay. So anyway, thank you for your question. But anyway, you are a Taurus 9 person. Your key numbers are so you are earth sign with a fire number. Okay. So that squares each other. So on one time, you're very practical, yet very passionate. You're very down to earth, yet very proactive. So it means sometimes it all depends on what day of the week they catch you on. And speaking of that, with your numbers being the 9, 6, and 3, your best days are always on a Tuesday first, a Thursday, no, Tuesday, Friday, then Thursday. So yes, it'll say Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, but your date should always be for interviews, appointments, procedures, anything that's of consequence should always be arranged on a Tuesday first, a Friday, and a Thursday. Okay. Thank you, Asia. Good question. All right, let me go here to this is Kelly Hernandez. All right. You are an air sign. Nope, excuse me, you're a fire sign with an air number. And so this is a combination that blends very well together. But I've noticed in my experience that four, I dub it the number of secret enemies because people are either jealous of you, envious of you, and oftentimes, sometimes to your amazement, insecure around you. That baffles you, but fours like to be different. The way they do things, they don't think normal. It's not that you're crazy. It's just that you like to, as they call it now, think outside the box. So if everybody's thinking one way, more than likely you like to think another way. So this your girlfriend has been knowing you since elementary school, saying, Kelly, that sounds just like you with your crazy self. It don't mean you're crazy. It just means that she's been knowing you since you were a kid, and you have a way of saying and doing things, and eventually it comes to pass. So if you're looking at some of the younger sisters, you say, you know what, been there, done that. That's where that's from. But your lucky numbers are the 4, 1, and 5. Your best days are always on Sunday and Wednesday. And this year you're in a 9 personal year. So that means this year to wrap things up. So you're in a 5 personal month and you happen to be in a 4 personal week. So this is a good time since your 4 personal week is matching your 4th birthday. So you can close out this month by tightening up things, putting all your ducks in a row, laying a cornerstone and setting some boundaries for yourself. And you'll find that a Leo and Aquarius or anybody born on a date such as a 1 or 4 will be helpful to you. Okay, so let me go back. See what I'm doing now. I go back from the front to the top. So it's, I'm trying to get people in. And no, I can't read everybody. You know what I'm saying? I will try to do the best I can. Now, this is a person, Bernadette Coleman. Everything about her grandson. He's born in the 5th month. He's born in the 5th day. And if you look at the year 2003, he's born in the year of the 5 as well. So he's a triple 5 going across the board. So Bernadette, I can tell you about your grandson. More than likely, the chances are higher than average. He probably started walking before he was 1 year old, probably around about 9 months. 9, 10 months, that boy was trying to get his own legs up in there. He wasn't no crawling on his knees and stuff. He was actually taking steps to get to where he's going. Your grandson is bright, intelligent, multifaceted, multidimensional, and is always and he's always constantly curious. And because 5 is a literary number, I'd make sure that boy always got books. You want to punish him? Have him go to bed with a book. Have him sit in the corner with a book, and have picture books and stuff like that. Okay, so if he's not, your grandson now is of age. He's 20 now, but I will tell you this though, he would make an excellent writer. He would do well in business, science, commerce, communications. He liked to travel. Patience is not his thing. And he's very, very friendly, and he works very well under stress. The only thing I would guard your grandson is not to become too friendly, too close to things of an indulgent nature to stimulate the senses like drugs and alcohol or drinking and alcohol, same thing. All righty. So other than that, his numbers are the 5, 6, and 9, and his best days are Wednesday, Friday, and Tuesday. All righty. Thank you. So nobody's giving me any 3-digit numbers. Hi, Oracle. I'm going to have Oracle on my show soon. She's got a tarot deck. The one thing about the women that I had in the tarot, they all went off and developed their own tarot decks, not just the traditional weight deck and the other decks that have been here for timeless centuries or whatever the case is. But these sisters in their own 21st century ways are coming out with their own decks. And I can't wait to see what Oracle has to offer. All righty. This person is Stephen E. He is born on November 17th. He's in the 8 personal year. And I read you before, Stephen. So what that means is this is your year to make your moves. Be not afraid. This month, right now, you're in a 4 personal month, which means although astrologic, and here's the thing, 4 is one of your stress numbers, May is one of your stress months. So with Mercury being retrograde for about almost 2/3 of this month, if you have more than your share of problems with limitations and restrictions, that may account for it. So stick to your best days, which is always on a Saturday, followed by a Friday, followed by a Tuesday. Actually, it's Saturday, Tuesday, Friday, but Tuesday goes first, but it's still Saturday's first, Friday second, then Tuesday. All right, those are your best days. All righty. So let me go back to the other end, and this is Tashana Johnson. She's born February the 9th. And it's interesting. Her three numbers are the 4, 7, and 3, which adds up to 14, and 1 plus 4 is 5. Now, because it adds up to a 5, it means subconsciously there may be a desire to want to make a change. Did you tired of the same old, looking at the same old, same old? I know I'm only kidding with that part, but you know what I'm saying. But the point is, you want to make a change. Can we put some variety and some spice up in this puppy? That's what it means. Subconsciously, that means there's a seeking an inner need to make a change in either your life, your career, or your environment as well. The person in mind could either be a Gemini or Virgo, or in a minor way, an Aquarius like you, or born on a date that adds up to the 5 or 6. But since you are born in an air sign with a 5 number, I noticed women who tend to be born on the 9th, like you, Tashana, the 18th, or the 27th, for some reason, 9 women tend to attract men in uniform: law enforcement, police, security, fire, mechanics, machinists, even some cases surgeons, because surgeons use tools in which to perform surgery, you know. So, but 9s are fighters. And so I know that you probably had a challenging time coming up in your early part of life, especially with being sensitive, but yet deep down you're a fighter. And you've got that kind of life where the older you become, the better you become as well. All right. So you speak your piece, and your numbers are the 5, 4, and 1. And your best days are always on a Tuesday and a Sunday, and in a minor way, Wednesday. Those are your best days. Okay. Um, Let me see. This one here is doing her thing though. This is May 23rd. So your birthday was yesterday. So happy belated birthday. Okay. And to you. And what it simply means is that now you're in your 52-day reputation cycle. See, I talk about the personal year, but what I also mention in my book is about the Rosicrucian cycle. The Rosicrucian cycle is that cycle that goes from birthday to birthday, not year to year. So on May 22nd is when it ended that 52-day critical cycle, because with the Rosicrucians, they broke it into 7 divisions. Each division is 52 days in length, which is 7. So with this case, now that your birthday is yesterday, which is day 1, all you got to do is count 52 days, which yesterday's 1, today is 2. You got 50 more days in front of you. That's your reputation cycle, which means whatever you get, you want. So looking at that, that would take you somewhere around about July. You know what I'm saying? And if you focus, however, as you come back around to the birthday, just 52 days before the birthday, the Rosicrucian is referred to as the critical cycle. I will be talking about, in fact, I make mention of the Rosicrucian cycle in my book, talking about the different phases that you go through: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. The most successful of all those phases is the 5th phase, which they call the success cycle, for that very reason. That's because it covers the Jupiter period in the cycle of life that you're going through. There's so much to this. I'm telling you. I try to make it entertaining because it's serious. And so that's why I'm saying that's why the book is 400 pages, because there was a lot too. And then I updated the book that's in the blue version too. So anyway, let me go back and try to go back to the top a second and catch some people. Now, you know, I ain't going to read everybody. And so if you notice, nobody's made a donation, which is cool, but y'all can donate a like button. Okay. So as Mr. Stephen and Carol Williams from Chicago says, just push the like button, man. I don't even know where the like button is on my thing. I'd like myself if I knew where the button was. But the point is, you got to do this. You don't have to. But for those that invest in yourself, put a little skin in the game. See, I like the brother. Now, if you don't like the brother, I understand. If you want to go to another show, I like that too, because I don't like everything myself. And I would prefer to do something else. But anyway, here we go. This is Kanye Grant. Okay. They are born in October the 30th of 1989. So they are a water sign, which is Scorpio, with a fire number, which is the number 3. And in fact, I'm going to be teaching a kind of a course on TikTok, which I'll explain later too, to how to read a person that you never met. So if I had to explain it from the water side of her, sensitive, intuitive, emotions, feeling, sympathetic, empathetic, and yet on the other side, passionate, proactive, determined, like to be the master of their fate, very determined to push their career and things of that nature. So it all depends on what day it is and how the weather is going on that day with that person. So they may feel on one day very emotional, and yet on other days they're not taking no prisoners, they're not taking nothing from nobody. It tells me too, you will attract younger men, no fault of your own, and men from different cultures too. And it also tells me that you always got something to say, because threes love to talk. So your key numbers are the 3, 9, and 6, which means that you have artistic talent and creative and imaginative talent. Maybe you should explore those. Maybe you thought about being an actress or in dance or theater, design or music or fashion or something of that nature, painting, sculpture, whatever. But at any rate, your numbers are the 3, 9, and 6, and your best days are always on a Thursday and a Tuesday and a Friday. All righty. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And by the way, this is my website. You see, Empress Rel. It's a star8.com, a star8.com. Think of a star in the heavens with a number 8 attached to it. Okay, that'll help you remember .com. For all the Android users, it is available for you now. I'm really praying. It's been a minute because Mercury was retrograde from the 21st of April, and that's when everything went kind of south. So I think things are coming back north. And so hopefully by the same time next week, I can proudly announce that yes, for all iPhone users. And let me tell you how bad I want it. I'm an iPhone user, okay? So I'd like to see what I put out there, all righty? Or what the team and I put out there, because it's not just myself. It took a collaboration of, you'd be surprised the number of people that did this. I was the lead person because a lot of this is coming from my book, Numbers in You, and some personal things I've learned that haven't been in the book that I'll probably put in the next book or whatever. But anyway, that's the website to go to. All righty. Let's see. Let's go back to the tail end. I want to thank this person, Maintain Yourself, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. I didn't give a birthday, but thank you very much for that. There I am. I'm back again. Sometimes I go off. Oh, my girl, Lady E, who is July the 28th. When will I be back on Clubhouse? Give me about another month or two. I've had to focus on my projects, such as my audiobook, my app, my podcast, and a couple other things. So since I'm one person trying to juggle many things, even though I've got a kind of a team with me, it takes a moment. But thank you for asking. I have not forgotten Clubhouse, but it has been a minute. Um, Golden Seal says, what's the name of the app? Is simple. A star 8, the number 8. Just think of a star in the heavens with the number 8 attached to it. So it's ASTAR number 8. You can, if you are Android user, just go to your Google store, type in the star 8, the number 8 to it, and it'll pop up just like that. And then you can, download it. The iPhone users, that should be hopefully in another week, because I'm waiting myself to see what it looks like, and I'm excited. Okay, and I don't even have it yet, but I am. I want to thank this person here for their donation. Anar Trez, it sounds French to me, and their birthday is May the 3rd. And look how many people are coming on the 3rd today. Here's what I'm saying. I opened up the show talking about Harry Belafonte of Pisces, who's a 3. I then talked about Tina Turner, who's a Sagittarius, which is a 3. The first person coming out the gate was a 3, born on January the 21st. Then the next person born was on 3/3. Okay, so it just shows you how all this works. But anyway, you're May 3rd, James Brown's birthday, the hardest working man in show business, and you're born in the year of the 7th. So in your case, your numbers are an earth sign with a fire number, which means practical and yet driven to succeed in all the things you say and do. And nobody, and let me say this about any 3 person, male or female, the worst thing to do is throw some dirt on their good name or reputation, and you got a fight on your hands. And especially when you know you're lying it when you say it, okay? They will fight you. So the one thing they do not like is people throwing dirt or shade on their reputation, especially when it's nothing they didn't do or it's not true. They will fight you. But in this case, your numbers are the 3, 6, and 9, which means you have a lot of artistic and creative talents, a lot of expressions. You should get into art, drama, jewelry, fashion, designing, photography, things like that. Also get into helping people. And I notice a lot of 3 people tend to go well in the pharmaceutical field too, either selling, pharmaceutical salesman, pharmaceutical this, that, and the other, but connected with pharmaceutical, not that you have to be. And 3 people are normally very conscientious. So this particular year for you, you happen to be in a 4 personal year. And so that means you may, did I do that right? I think, no, hold up. If that's May 3rd, that's an 8. You're in a 6 person year. I stand corrected. So you're in a year that's very friendly to your zodiac sign of Taurus. So it's the romance, finance cycle, moving in the home, moving out of a home, births, marriages, pregnancy, separation, divorce, back to school, all those kind of things that are associated with the more domestic side of life. You probably change your hair from where it looked several months ago. It looks different now, restyled it, whatever. See, we guys get a haircut and that's a wrap. Y'all put your hair all kind of ways, up in buns, down your back, hey, yo, I'm just saying y'all got flexibility when it comes to the hair. So you may have added a little flexibility to your hair too. But your lucky numbers are always, without exceptions, the 3, 6, and 9. And thank you so much for the donation. Much appreciated too. Okay. So for those of you who don't think you can make a donation, and it's not about donations. In my platform has never been about donations. If you do, I mean, I'm really honored. I'm really flattered about it, but that is not the purpose. My purpose is to share some knowledge and wisdom and get some understanding so you can be a better person to yourself, your loved ones, and other people that you deal with, and especially for those of you who understand your babies. Now, here's another 3 person, okay, born the same day as Josephine Baker, um, back in the day. In fact, Josephine Baker, this sister, she had the banana belt. She was the one that merged the relationship between France and the United States. Our women, our sisters are deep. I'm telling you, go read about the biography of Josephine Baker and tell you. And she loved children, 3 loved children. Well, she must have adopted about 20 children from all different nationalities because 3 is global, universal, international. Not that you want to be Josephine Baker, okay? Not that you want to have all them babies up in your place, okay? But the point is that you're either very popular with young children, get along very well with babies and young people and young adults and stuff like that. And you always like to express yourself, always a smile on your face. You can even be at a funeral with a grin on your face and be saying, girl, what were you grinning about? You wasn't grinning because the person is being going to rest, God bless their soul. But 5s just have this natural, it's organic. They just organically like to smile as a rule, not unless they've been affected in their childhood. Okay. But for them, this year, you're in a 7 personal year. So this is your year to soul search. And as outgoing as you are, especially since you are a Gemini, which is an outgoing sign, a 3, which is an outgoing number, if you've been kind of like reserved or one to stay under the radar and kind of keep a close thing close to yourself and not go out as much or have much people come in your house, that would make a lot of sense too. But your key numbers are the 3, 6, and 5, and your best days are always on a Thursday, followed by a Friday, followed by a Wednesday, in that order. All righty. Thank you so much. And by the way, this is your year to not chase, but to magnetize to you what you want, whether it's love or money or a new car, or I was going to say a banana belt, just joking, but don't pay that no mind. Okay. Anyway, thank you. That was fun. Now, this is Miracle Rose. She is July 10th. Now, here I have a water sign with a fire number. Now, this sounds counterintuitive because water is used to put out fire. But as I tell people, like, if you like your hot showers or hot baths in the morning or evening, that is a combination of water and fire being put together to bring comfort and soothe the aching muscles or release the tension or something in the case. But in this case, it tells me this about you without question, Miracle Rose. When you were younger, you attracted much older men. As you've gotten older, they're becoming younger. Don't worry about it. I will explain it later, but there's a rule. Your life is doing just the reverse. Old when you are young, young when you're old. And so also it indicates you don't take orders well. And sometimes, so understand in some relationships with people, because you're being accused, you're being bossy or dominant, or trying to, like, you telling me what to do and who are you? Well, you're number one, and you're number one to the 10th power. Not just a number one, but you one with a zero behind it. That's why they call the 10 in the tarot deck the wheel of fortune, ones whose plans are likely to be carried out. All righty. So it just tells me you're strong will. You should be a lawyer, doctor, scientist, entrepreneur, manager, supervisor, director, because you don't take orders well. But you've always grew up with a very questioning, very spiritual, old soul spirit. And now that spirit is getting young, and so are the relationships that are drawn into your life as well, too. Your key numbers are the 1, the 4, the 2, and the 7. You actually got 4 numbers. You're the first one in this group this evening that has 4 numbers where everybody else has 3. All right, so I hope that answers your question. You probably wear glasses too, although your picture says you don't, but because it suggests your left eye is a little bit weaker than your right eye. Okay, anyway, let me do this. Let me go back. Okay. And I thank you. And let me tell you, for those that have purchased my courses, today's the last day it's on sale. I'm going to make mention of that before I get off. For those of you who subscribe to the newsletter, all these things are very much appreciated. I could spend an hour just showing thanks, naming names, man. I mean, it's really, really nice. I'm very blessed that all of y'all have afforded me the courtesy and the support that you have, and I do deeply appreciate it. Okay, I take none of you for granted, none of you. Okay, and this is a gift that the Creator has given to me, and if I act a fool, as they say, the Creator can take it just like that too. So anyway, this is China. Thanks for the donation. She is a fire sign with an air number born on July 31st. So her key numbers are the 4, 1, and 5. It also means she likes to be different from everybody else. It also means that this is a 9-year for you. What I did was I took the month and day, July the 31st, added it to this year, 2023. Those 3 factors factored out to a 9. So you at the end of a 9-year journey. So this year is about closure. This year is about bringing things to a close or to a head and let things go. And yet at the same time, it is a year to step up and fulfill some of the dreams, some of the things you put on hold, some of the things that you denied yourself, that you put because of this reason or that reason or whatever the case is, like that too. And because this year you're in this 9 personal year, you'll find it in Aries or Scorpio or Leo, or anybody born on the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th of the month will be of help to you. And not only that, but then I looked at this month that we're about to wrap up. You've been in a 5 personal month, and the month of May is normally challenging to you too. So with much of May being retrograde and May being an oppositional month, it may have been that you had some kind of resistance bringing about some changes the way you wanted to. It may have been, but not without a disappointment, not without a delay, not without some drama. Then you're going into June, which would be in a 6 personal month. June is friendlier to you, but you'll be in a 6, which is an opposition number to your 4. That's why y'all need to get readings, okay? Get it from me, get it from King Simon, get it from Jackie Levine, get it from my man, Brother Rebels Bay, all the people that I know that's been guests on my show. Take advantage of all those persons. Go to YouTube channel, look at all my back channels. Take note at the end of the show where I put up their banners, and take advantage of getting it done that way too. But you're sensitive, high strung, easily wounded in your feelings as well. But your best days are always on a Sunday and a Monday, followed by a Wednesday, as those are your best days, okay? This one is RG. And did I thank you for the donation? I hope I did. Thanks. Now this is Argly. RG. Excuse me. I'm not too good with the names, but I'll remember your birthday forever. Everybody's got their gifts, okay? I just remember birthdays. Anyway, you are November the 26th, one day after Tina Turner, who passed away this morning in Sweden. And this is the same birthday as Robin Givens, the actress, Jaleel Urkel, who did the character with the funny glasses and the suspenders. Jimi Hendrix is born on this day. Bruce Lee is born on this day. So you are in good company. And since you are a fire sign with a fire number, you always stay fired up. When I mean that, always ready to go, always got something to do. Burn down the things if you need to. It's like, I hear what you're saying, but what are we going to do? Now, nine's a universal, global. The sign of Sagittarius is international as well. So with that, it tells me you are going to meet people from all over the world and date older persons and younger persons at the same time, as well as people from different cultures and long distance relationships too. So I would say since 1987, you've had a very, very interesting experience, I would say. All right. This particular year for you, you are in a, let me see, how did I do that? You're in a nine personal year. So you're in a year that matches your birthday. So this is your year to begin to phase things out that you've outgrown, that you no longer need, that's worn their welcome mat out, and bring closure to it. Let bygones be bygones, let water under the bridge, and let it stay that way. But on the other hand, if you have a desire to travel great distances, this is the year to do it. If you have a desire to manifest your dreams, your goals, your desires, this is the year to do that as well. And along the journey this year, you'll find that Aries and Scorpio and Leos will help you, or anybody born on the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th of the month as well. And your birthday suggests you attract people in uniform too, or you yourself may have gone into the service or whatever the case is. But anyway, I thank you very, very much. So let me go back to the top again, near the top. I go to the top, then I go to the back. That way I can't miss anybody. Now, this is James. Yeah, hold on. This is James Hunt Moray. James, I got to tell you this, buddy. You are a Virgo, which is ruled by the symbol of the Virgin, a woman, and your number is ruled by the number 2, which symbolizes the woman. So it tells me, if I had to sum it up to a degree, James, nothing personal, women have been your blessing and your curse. There are women who love you for who you are. And then there's some women, I don't know how you'll do that, where if you can't have him, nobody can have him. I don't know how y'all be thinking like that, but I'm not a woman, so I can't, I'm just saying what women tell me. But in the meantime, though, and it tells me since Virgo is the health sign, and since 2 is the health number, it tells me you either been a vegetarian, semi-vegetarian, probably don't eat no pork, ain't ate no pork in a while, and very particular about where you eat, how you eat, where you eat, when you eat, all those kinds of things. It also tells me you do well in poetry, theater, dance, drama, computers, technology, engineering, the mechanical, mathematical sciences. You'd also do well in the literary field. You'd also do well in the world of business and entertainment. And also, the reason why you're very popular with women because you pay attention, and a woman loves a man that pays attention. Not that you have to give him all your time and attention, but the fact that you'll notice the earrings, honey, those were not the earrings you wore. And this morning, you got a different set on, and they say, oh, the nice, so and so and so and so. Anyway, and you're also very, very psychic and intuitive. And so, if you notice how the 2 is written in shape like the intestines of the stomach, so it means you gotta watch what you're feeling inside when you're around certain people or situations. If you feel like all of a sudden you're meeting somebody and they're giving you a little gas or indigestion, maybe that's a warning sign to kind of not go too far with that person. It's like going on a train ride. You got to know what stop you got to get off at. Because if not, people will lead you to their last stop and leave you there stranded. So this is why you got to think for yourself. I tell all of y'all this. You think for yourself or somebody will do your thinking for you. And so that's why God gave us all a brain. That's what the thought reading is about. Okay. But we're so programmed that we got to think like clones that we're trying to figure out why we're not finding our own. Because we're so busy wondering about what somebody else is doing when you need to know what you're doing for yourself. And thus I tell all of you to please get into the habit of thinking for yourself. I think they call that now critical thinking, but it's just thinking for yourself. If you disagree, fine. If you don't, fine. But you are entitled to think. That's why God gave you your own brain. Use it. That's all I'm saying. Please use it. So anyway, sir, your key numbers are the 2, 7, and 5. And you'll find that Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays are always your best days. And this year, I got to be honest, you happen to be in a 9 personal year, and 9 is your challenging number. So, sir, you need to stay away from anybody that want to argue, fuss, fight, get into fender benders, some drama, conflicts and whatnot. Leave them alone. Be careful when you're handling knives in the kitchen, sharp instruments, guns or scissors. Not that your birthday don't suggest you deal with guns, but anybody, anything explosive, argumentative, confrontational, slow it down when you're driving and whatnot, because you happen to be more in an accident prone year than an illness year. Because if you do get ill, it's more than likely with the stomach and digestive tract, ulcers, tumors, hemorrhoids, diabetes, stuff like that. All that's in my book. All that's in my book. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's go to Donna Medina. All right. She is born July the 22nd. So she is without question in the very first stages of Leo. All righty. Or she could be in the last stages of Cancer. But looking at the year, she's born in 1984. And it's interesting because 1984 adds up to 22. And you're born on the 22nd. And Leo is a master number 11. So you're born under a master number 11 sign. You're born on a master 22 day. And you're born on a master 22 year. So that means, young lady, you are here to do some very special things with your life. Let me see something. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Is that true? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I thought you had 11 letters in your name. I was really going to stretch it, okay? But in the meantime, what it means, as has been said, to whom a lot is given, much is expected. So 4s are very difficult to understand. 7 is difficult because in a 7, which is your first phase of life, they are kind of reserved, they're withdrawn, they like to be their own best company, and people will often misaccuse, especially women, of being snooty, stuck up. Who does she think she is? Which is not true. So you're kind of like a loner, not in a bad way that's kind of like destructive to do harm to people. But when they shut this country down in 2020, which you take those zeros out, that's your 22, you didn't have a problem at all. So your key numbers are the 4, 1, and 5. So that's why in 2020, 2021, you probably made some very dynamic moves at that time too. So this particular year, though, you happen to be in a 9 personal year, which means this is a year to close the books, where you woke up and says, you know what, I don't need this, I don't need that. Somebody straddling your fence who said, you know what, I don't think I need you either. You guys are out of here. So this is about closure, but yet a fulfillment of your dreams, the things you've been wanting to do that you put on hold, maybe with the sacrifice of others, because your first part is kind of like you're in the Leo, but you still got that little Cancer energy going over there too, where you care and share for people and stuff like that. Plus, you don't like people destitute, down and out, homeless, all that other stuff too. And your love life is interesting, but I ain't got enough time to go into that either, because you always attract those odd and unusual where your mother say, honey, where did you find him at? Okay. So at any rate, though, your lucky numbers are the 4, 1, and 5. Your best days are always on a Sunday and a Monday and a Wednesday. All righty. Good. Got that straight. Now, let me go back to the tail end. I'm going to go with Native Express. All right. So Native Express is a Virgo. And so Virgo's a finicky sign. 7 is a finicky number. And they would do that. So what it tells me is this, that this is your year. You're ready for change. Because when I took the month, the day you were born, added to the year 2023, because 2023 is a 7, you're born on the 16th, which is a 7, and then 5 is one of your numbers, and you're in a 5 personal year. So this is a year, Native Express, to really get out on your own, to do some things in the way that you want to move and maneuver with freedom and flexibility, and not be restrained or restricted by anyone's thinking or anyone's expectations of you, and move those boundaries out the way so you can breathe and explore your options, because you're in a cycle of opportunities and you need to take full advantage of them too. And yet, at the same time, you're very reserved, low key, and love to ask questions. Virgos are sign that like to ask questions. 7s like to go down the rabbit hole. So I know people be saying like, yo, man, you always, why you ask so many questions? But you really can't help it. And my attitude to you, Native Empress, is to thine own self be true. But your lucky numbers again are the 7, 2, and 5, and Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays are your best days. Now I'm going to take my last one. This is Taylor Rebecca. First of all, thank you for the donation. They are Tyler. So they are born on December the 25th, which makes them a earth sign with a water number. This year is the year of the 7. So they're in an 8 personal year. Now, what's interesting, your numbers are the 7, 2, and 8. Now, 8 represents money moves, dynamic moves, major moves, moves that take you to the next level in the physical and material and the financial world. Okay. It is also a cycle that says you do a lot of growing up. And Capricorn is the old sign anyway. So all that does is add deeper maturity, deeper understanding of why you deal with the way people, the way you do. Your key numbers are the 7, 2, and 8. Your best days are always on a Monday and a Saturday and a Sunday. So actually would say Saturday, Sunday, Monday, to be very honest with you, those would be better for you. And because you are in a year, let me see that 775, you're in an 8 year. That means this month of May that we're wrapping up has been kind of challenging with some restrictions or maybe some health concerns of a family member, whatever the case is. But the fact that you're in a 4 personal month and this last week of May means you're in an 8 personal week, which matches your sign. I would say there's going to be a nice reprieve that you're going to get to. And don't chase after anything this year. Just magnetize what you want, let go, let God. And next year, 2024, is the year of the 8, which matches your sign perfectly. So Capricorns, Aquarius, and Libras, they are expected to do well. So I want to thank everybody. And let me say this, on Monday, I'm going to get back to having guests. I know I've been on the last couple of weeks, I've been having fun. But before I go, let me just tell you, I'm going to have on Monday a very distinguished woman. Her name is Maggie Linton, and I don't have her picture up yet, but you'll see. She introduced me to the Washington D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. You know, the tri-state area here in New York is New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. Well, there is D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. That's their tri-state area in that neck of the woods. Well, she brought me out in that neck of the woods, and I mean, it just brought a whole nother thing. So I'm very, very blessed with the people I meet. She's had me on her shows countless times, and I want to return a favor now. She has her own podcast, but she had a very successful show in a long run on Sirius XM there in Washington, D.C. But I do want to let you know today's show has been brought to you by the Sisters of the Traveling Spread. Okay. STS Healing is where you go, stshealing.com. That's stshealing.com to sign up and make your reservations to be in attendance with us on August the 17th through the 20th in New Orleans. Okay. It's a first for me. All righty. So again, I want to honor the late Harry Belafonte. God bless his soul. And this morning, I mean, it was just like she had been sick for a while, I understand, but you know, really, you really miss people, especially, and she's left a musical and a film legacy that will last forever. And I definitely would suggest that all of you go and see What Love's Got to Do with It, the 1993 biopic for which this beautiful lady portrayed her rather, and Angela Bassett, fire sign with a fire sign. And no, they had the right person for that one. See, if they talked to me, I said, you need to get Angela Bassett. Not that I like her or anything, but she's fire, okay? And Tina Turner is fire. And anyway, so enough of that. So today is the last day. My course is on sale. This cheap. This is the cheapest it has ever been. For under $35, you own all 3 courses. You go at your own pace. You must go to my website to take advantage of the discount. That's LLoyd-Strayhorn.com. That's LLoyd-Strayhorn.com. And May is almost a wrap. I'm working on June. So please make sure that if you didn't get it and you want to find out what has happened over the past couple of weeks leading up to now, please sign up for my free monthly newsletter also at Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. Also, I've done my, okay, let me see. This is my audiobook that you can listen to. If you click on it, you can hear a sample of it. This is 8 hours and 44 minutes. Not only did I write the book, I also recorded every word. It's revised because there's a section in it that's definitely outdated, and it didn't make no sense to include that in the section. So it's a revised, abridged version of my Numbers and You classic. And so pick that up also at my website. All these you can see in my what they call us, those headings in your website. And also, please go to my podcast. So for those of you who like to listen to the shows rather than look at shows, you'll find that also available on my website, Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. And I'm now a member of TikTok. So for those of you who like TikTok, and it's interesting, about a year ago, I had this psychic on named John Edwards. John Edward, not S, John Edward. And he says, Lloyd, if you got on TikTok, you would be fantastic. And I'm just saying, in less than a month and a half, I'm seeing numbers I've never seen. So to John Edwards, John Edward, I thank you very much for that. And this is the screenshot of my app that y'all can see if you go to astar8.com. The Android users, it's yours. You got it right now. And a lot of people are participating. I am answering some questions too. People have written in questions. I've taken the time to get back to you. There are going to be some changes, but when you go to the Android, this is what you see in order to download it. And so it's going to look like that when it's available, I pray, next week on iOS. And by the way, please, everybody, please pick up a copy of Jackie's book. You see at the top of how to get in touch with her to order the book. And she is forever thankful for those of you who have. And for those of you who want to know about those compound numbers, because I want to focus about them too. I might even take them either from part of Jackie's book or bring her on to talk about the compound numbers. That in and of itself is a whole other topic. So that is it in a word. So working backwards, this is it. This is what it looks like. For those of you TikTok users, I'm very new to it. Still things I don't understand, but there seems to be a spontaneous response with it. For those that like to listen to podcasts in the car, at home, and not watch it on YouTube and stuff, you can. For those that don't want to read the book, you can now listen to the book. It is recorded by my voice, 8 hours and 44 minutes. It took me over a week to do this with editing and everything. It's not easy. Believe me, all this appears easy. It's a lot of work. And I do thank the person, Little Drummer Boy Studios, Samori Coles in Philadelphia, that put that together for me. A brilliant brother, very classy, the latest equipment and whatnot to make all that happen, make me sound like a star, so to speak. Anyway, please get the monthly newsletter. And again, you have no excuse for not owning these courses to learn how I do what I do. Now, you're not going to do it overnight. This took me years to master the way of doing this quickly. So be patient. But if you want to get the fundamentals, lay the foundations, the building blocks to how to do this later on by getting started, take these courses, own all three, not just one for $9, $10. Own all three for less than $35, okay? Go to the website. Today is the last day. Don't come tomorrow and say, Lloyd, how come you didn't say nothing when it's all at the top prices, okay? I'm just telling you now, you have been told, save money and gain the knowledge. The knowledge is a wealth of information to help you do that. So everybody, I want to thank you. Monday, my guest will be Miss Maggie Linton, an amazing woman. You watch, and she's got a personality that just won't quit, okay? And I need to thank her very, very much for bringing me into the Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia triangle, okay? So everybody, all of you, have a nice day, and God bless the souls of Tina Turner and Harry Belafonte, and all of us who must who must transition this planet at one day, at one time or another. All of us got to get up out of here. No one leaves this planet alive. So anyway, in light of that, you'll all have a nice weekend and take good care of yourselves. Promise me.